Hello, everyone. Well, we are officially in the start of week 3 for our class this summer. I'm recording this on Sunday, June 14th, but week 3 will run from Monday, June 15th to Monday, June 22nd. So let's do a quick recap of what you had going on for this past week, week 2. We are working on our first essays, the personal narrative. You're reading examples of personal narrative essays, Once More to the Lake by E.B. White, and then also Shooting an Elephant by George Orwell. And then you are participating in your first online discussion, What Makes an Essay? And I just wanted to clarify here with the discussion that in order to post your answers, you need to click this reply button. And for most of the discussions, you have to uh, click reply and respond to the questions before you can see your classmates' responses. So it will, for you, look like there's nothing here. But once you press that reply button and submit your answers, you will be able to see everybody else's answers. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, also the first Success Center / PAL activity is due this week on Monday. So most of you looks like have already completed that. I know some of you are still waiting for verification, and don't worry about it if your verification doesn't come in time. That's totally fine. Just submit it whenever you receive it this week. And then this week is week 3. So this Friday, June 19th, you've got some grammar essentials articles to read. So this is just a reading. You're not required to submit annotations or notes for this assignment. But if you would like to complete annotations or notes, you can submit them for up to 10 points. That 10 points goes towards your homework and readings grade. So this is probably just review of a lot of this information, right? Different punctuation, commas, how to use commas. Commas are one thing that a lot of students kind of get confused about. So if you know, for example, like, I don't even know when to use a comma, maybe you want to check out specifically that commas section, or if you have an issue with run-on sentences, all right, be sure to check out that sentence or that article, and it can help you with your sentences. So this is, right, you've now submitted your rough draft, you're seeking tutoring this week, and your final draft of the personal narrative essay will be due on Friday as well. So all of these things, right, the tutoring, the grammar articles, it's all just little pieces to help you to make this essay the best that it can be. Um, I am going to be tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday. I will be reading your rough drafts and giving you feedback. So please make sure that you check my feedback on your essay before you submit your final draft. So I shouldn't see any final draft submissions until at least Wednesday or Thursday, right? Give yourself time. Don't feel like you've got to rush and submit it. I mean, of course, if you have something going on and you want to get this out of the way, then definitely do that. But don't feel like you need to rush to submit it. Take your time, get the feedback from your tutor, implement that, right? Go through the grammar articles, reread your essay. I always recommend for students to, one of the best ways to edit and proofread is to read it aloud. So read your story, read your essay out loud to yourself, to a friend or family member. Something that I always used to do is print my essay and then read it with like a pen in hand, kind of like annotating my own essay. And it never fails that whenever I would print something and then read it on that physical paper, I would always find a mistake. There's just something about, the screen, we tend to kind of gloss over the smaller things. So if that's something that you can do, give that a try too. Okay, please review the this video that I created. This is just basic formatting. Oh, it's going to show me an ad. Basic formatting in Google Docs. Let's see. Okay. So I'm walking you through how to format your essay in Google Docs. So if you need a little refresher on that, please take a look at that video. Make sure your document is formatted correctly. And then again, your final draft is due Friday. If you have any questions about anything related to your essay or any other assignments, please feel free to reach out to me this week. I'm always happy to help. And then once we've submitted that first essay, we're moving straight into the next one. So again, this is an 8-week class. Things move quickly, and we don't have a lot of time in between the essays. So we're moving right into essay 2, which is an expository essay. But before you read the prompt, you're going to read these articles and submit annotations or notes for these. So there's 7 articles. And it's just an overview of some of the kind of types of essays that you can write. So argumentative essays, compare and contrast, cause and effect, illustration, etc. All right, so read those, submit your annotations and notes, and then for the next thing, you're going to read this assignment page. So essay 2 is an expository essay. So as it says, this type of essay is one that asks you to investigate an idea, to evaluate evidence, expound on the idea, and then set forth an argument concerning that idea in a clear and concise manner. Okay, so please thoroughly read through this assignment page to understand what this type of essay is asking for you. I'm sorry, asking of you, not for you. So down here under this assignment section, I've given some ideas of things that you could write about. So an expository essay is essentially one that explains and informs. It can be in the form of a compare and contrast. It could be in the form of a cause and effect, or it could just be kind of like an informative essay. So one, sometimes students like specific topics or something to kind of direct their attention and research to. So I've given a couple examples here, or you can write about anything that interests you. So for the first one, you could consider how food, its production, preparation, and or consumption affects everyday life beyond its obvious role as one of the basic necessities. So this could even be something like, maybe a diet, like the carnivore diet or a vegan diet, right? What are the kind of ins and outs of this? What are the benefits of those types of diets or the risks of those diets? Or what does the science show about those types of diets and its effect on health, right? Something like that. Could even be going the other way into like farming practices, agricultural practices, the good and the bad there. So something to do with the food, the whole food network is kind of one idea for you. Lots of possibilities there. Another one that you can do is to compare and contrast 2 or more different career paths. So think about what you are, looking to do as your future career in your professional life. And you can, do some research on those and think about, what exactly does this career look like on a daily basis, advantages and disadvantages. The income that you're going to make, is that enough for you? Is that worth it? And, you're just gonna kind of look at your different options there. And then, as I mentioned, of course, you can choose anything else that interests you. So I really encourage you for this essay to choose a topic that is interesting to you, that you want to learn more about, that you want to do research on, because I remember being assigned essays in college, and it would be, you have to write an essay on this topic, and it would be something like that I completely had no interest in. And it's really hard to write and research an essay when you really have no skin in the game, as they say, right? So for this essay, I want you to pick something that you are passionate about to write about. That's the goal here. It needs to be about 4 full pages in length, and you do need to use outside sources. So I have some guidance for you here about how to conduct research using the Chaffey College Library databases. You can also use internet sources for this, but you want to be mindful of where you are getting your information from. Okay. Um, Next, you're going to watch this TED Talk. It's called Why Bees Are Disappearing. Um, Although this is a TED Talk, essentially a speech, it is very similar to the format of an essay, like a cause and effect essay. So you're going to watch the video and then submit notes. So you're going to take notes while you watch and submit the notes, and then you're going to answer these three questions and submit your answers to the questions. So this is an interesting topic to me. I learned a lot when I first watched this video, and I'm always interested to read your answers to these questions because oftentimes you are very surprised at some of the things that are shared here as well. So just again, exposing you to what an expository essay or an expository speech in this case could look like and the sorts of things that you want to think about, ask questions about, and write about. And then finally, you are going to submit a topic proposal for this essay. So I've given you a very specific outline. I even have a template on Google Docs that you can make a copy of and use. So you don't even have to worry about formatting and putting it all together. Uh, you just will kind of go in here and then it's already a copy in your Google Drive and you can fill out your own information here, right? Your first and last name, uh, change the header, and then you're going to list your ideas here. So you have a list of topics, you choose one and write a paragraph about that. You write 5 questions that you want to know about your topic, and then you're going to write a working thesis, which is essentially just a rough draft of your thesis statement, which is the main argument of your paper. And then below, these are just some ideas or guidelines of questions that you could ask. And so you don't have to use any of these explicitly. They're just to give you some ideas. And then you also want to change these questions to fit your topic. So instead of just who benefits from this, it would be who benefits from, the use of pesticides on our produce, for example, if you were to choose one of those food related topics. All right, back to the page. Okay, so the other thing, which was also on this topic proposal, sorry, we're going to go back there for just a second. This thesis page, which I mentioned to you in the video, I think it was last week's video, that you could take a look at for the narrative, personal narrative essay regarding your thesis statement for that. You can also take a look at this again to refresh your memory on thesis statements and take a look at an example of a thesis statement for an expository essay. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Extra credit options, just as reminders down below. And if you do want to work ahead, all of the weeks for this class are published, so you can, keep clicking and just see what else you've got coming up here. But essentially, we're just going to be working on Essay 2 now for the next couple weeks. The readings from Lumen Learning will be more practical tips of writing. And then we'll also have things like that TED Talk and this essay that you're going to read that are examples of expository type content for you to kind of be immersed in what it is I'm asking you to write. All right. That is pretty much it. So let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you all soon. Bye.